I think I have the most fun in the school. Don't tell anybody I said that. But I think I definitely have the most fun in the school.
Our guest today is a Tony Award-winning educator who believes that listening to and trusting her students are two of the most important aspects of her job. Join us as we catch up with Monticello High School drama teacher Madeline Michael. Come on.
To be honest, I'm not really a theater person, and so there's a lot that I don't know about theater, and I think that was a real huge advantage for me. What I know about theater, I know from, study of literature, going to see plays and everything, but I think that it was an advantage for me not to be a theater person because I know what I don't know, and I find other people who know. And one of the things I found out is that students know a lot. They know how to choreograph. They know how to dance. They know how to write plays. I mean, with a little bit of guidance.
You watch your students and you have a sense of who does like to write, who could be a good writer, who could be a good director, and then you push that along.
That's because I know them. I really know them well, and I'm interested in them, and I know their families, and I communicate with their families. I want to know them because they're so interesting, and I don't have my own children living at home anymore, so they're kind of like my substitute kids. So I get really involved in their lives sometimes, probably too much, probably a little bit too nosy, but.
The students are rehearsing today. What are they working on?
Okay, so starting this summer, probably the end of spring, there's a girl named Shagun Gotra. She came up to me and said, I would really like to write something. And so this summer, a bunch of the kids and I worked like weekly on a play. It's called My Kahani, which means my story.
Are you saying that I'm too Indian to fit in with the other kids? Just so you know, I've made friends without having to lie about who I am, unlike you.
I want people to see our stories and see how challenging it is to balance our identities.
I honestly believe that this message that we're telling is going to be impactful, especially in this school.
Mom, I am American. Why do you always say it like it's a bad thing?
Ticket for job?
You don't understand. You want me to be like you and work all the time and do nothing else.
I was really afraid writing the play because we've never talked about what it's like being an immigrant often in the news, but like now seeing it on stage, it's just like it's coming to life. It's so meaningful and like so unique.
It focuses on how the daughters balance being brown and being in the United States.
I always look for student directors because how else will they learn if they don't do it? And I'm there to put in my 2 cents if I see a problem. It's not like I sit in the back of the room and eat candy, although I have been known to do that once or twice. But we really believe in project-based learning and making and all that stuff. And so what better way to learn anything than to just do it? Right. And they're really good at it. They get good at it.
Yeah, so the part of the year the students work on one-act plays, and then part of the year students work on the big musicals.
Yeah, first musical I did, my principal at the time was not happy with the title. It was called Urinetown. And he said, what do you want to do a musical called Urinetown for? That's terrible. So I guess I've kind of pushed the envelope a little bit in certain ways, but I know what I like. And a lot of it is my taste because I don't want to spend 3 months working on a musical that I hate. So we've done a lot of musicals that focused in on people of color because those are always the kids that I never see on high school stages, almost never. So I started choosing specific shows so that they could sort of, be highlighted and showcased. And then it just changed over, and now everybody sort of knows that that's the way it goes in this school, that sometimes you're highlighted, sometimes somebody else is, and that's just the way it is.
Okay, we all know he likes her because she's exotic.
Oh, so like a foreign exchange student?
No, Dad, her family is from...
She's not legal, is she?
We can break out of traditions and tell stories that have never been told if it's new people doing it, if it's younger people, because we might not get a say anywhere else in school, but this is our place to have our voice.
It's one thing to make a narrative production, but it's another thing to make a narrative production that has a message that's important to you.
Miss Michael really puts it in the students' hands, so it's like it's up to us to like interpret the play as we want it. We decide the set, we decide costumes. It's all in our hands. We get to decide how we want the play to be.
You allow students to really write about topics that are important to them and that they're working through and struggling with in some ways.
I guess the first play that was sort of controversial was called Necessary Trouble. And a girl named Courtney Grooms wrote that. She took the title from John Lewis always talked about necessary trouble, good trouble. And it was about Confederate imagery. Then came Josh St. Hill, who's now a first-year EVA. He wrote A King's Story, and that was originally supposed to be about police brutality because that's what was on his mind. But as he went on over the summer, he incorporated what had happened on August 11th. So it had to do with police brutality, but also just the general fear that all of his community was feeling. Then last year was #WhileBlack, and that was Kayla Scott. That was about gentrification and how her family had once lived in a consolidated neighborhood and then were evicted over time.
Right.
I believe that the playwriting program is probably the most important thing that I do, because everybody does musicals and everybody does one-act plays, but not everybody does writing. But that's what I love the most.
And you were recognized in 2019 with a Tony Award for your work in education.
Yeah, that was really surprising. That was really surprising.
We are honored to present the 2019 Excellence in Theater Education Award to Madeline Michael.
I think I owe it all to my student Luca Huff, who is a junior. He's an incredible filmmaker. And I told him, someone nominated me for an award and I have to submit a 3-minute film. Could you make that? And he just nailed it. He nailed everything that was important about this program.
This drama department pushes boundaries.
This program always chooses to have a message.
It's art with a message and art with real people behind it.
Art is really expression. It's supposed to be free.
This program is not about me. It has to be about them. They're our future. They are the kids that give me so much hope. So making our world about them is the most uplifting thing that I could possibly think of.
She didn't really tell me that she would win a Tony because of it. In fact, I just thought I was making a little promotional clip that would go to maybe some school board people. But apparently it went to somebody a little higher than that.
I mean, I wasn't super surprised because she's an incredible teacher, but I mean, a Tony, that's a big deal. Like, she's like famous. Like, that is huge.
She actually texted me the day and she goes, "I'm getting a Tony." And I was like, what? And it was hilarious the way she did it, but it was so like her to just like say it like that so nonchalantly. And the fact that she even in her speech made it about her students, that just shows her personality completely.
This award is for all of the students who have found their voice and who speak for themselves, their families, and their community through theater and playwriting. It was terrifying. I didn't realize it was going to be that big a theater and that many people, and that I had to give a speech like that.
But people loved your speech.
They did. A lot of cool people complimented my speech. So yeah, it was great, but it was also really, it was full of anxiety. And you go on the red carpet and you hear like, "Madeline, Madeline, Madeline," and then like, "Madeline, Madeline," you're turning around like, what do I do? So yeah. And it's weird because I used to love to be the center of attention, like my whole life.
When you were
little.
young.
Yeah. And now I don't like to be the center of attention. I like my students. I wish that that it had been given to one of my students and they could have gone up there and done everything.
But in a sense, it was given to your students too, because the benefits of winning.
Yes, there are some benefits to winning.
There were some financial benefits for the program.
Yes.
Scholarships for some of the kids, opportunities.
Great opportunity. The people at Carnegie Mellon, amazing, and also the Broadway League and the American Theater Wing, great people. And we get some wonderful things. Like, first of all, in a couple of weeks, we have 2 professors from Carnegie Mellon coming to our school to give workshops in choreography and acting. And John Clay III is a young man who is, he's a Broadway actor, and he's coming as part of the contingency. He'll tell them a little bit about the struggle of becoming a professional actor. I can't really prepare people for a professional career because I don't know enough. I can get other people in here to help me, but what I can give them that I think is really of value is a sense of community and being heard, and being loved, and building their confidence.
She is always checking up on me about school, about if I have lunch, everything. It's like she's just, I guess, just sitting there caring for each and every one of us. I don't know how she does it.
I feel like the times that I'm having the most fun is when I'm in this community, surrounded by these people.
It helps with your self-esteem too, because you're like, oh wow, I go on the stage with a lot of people, and then, oh, I did that.
Really, listen to yourselves. Obviously, she was embarrassed to tell the truth. And maybe it's because of people like you.
Where do you see this program down the road? Since you're not retiring anytime soon.
Yeah. What I would like to do, well, I would like to eventually leave it in the hands of some really cool young person. I want somebody who's interested in writing and playwriting and using theater to build community and to express student thoughts. To me, that's the most important thing that art can do, is, you know, expression for the students, to speak on behalf of their families, their culture, their community. That's what it is for me.
That's good stuff.